number of pick'ems getting ruined just on day one of the Legend stage, mine included as well, of course. But yeah, this is a banger of game to start things off. I think the desk painted a very nice, very pretty picture as to how these two teams are going to be shaping up, are going to be facing off against each other over here. Obviously, as pointed out on the desk, this is the revenge matchup for Heroic. It's kind of wild that these two teams haven't really faced each other since the previous major, but it was in the semifinals in front of that massive crowd in the Globe in Stockholm that it was G2 who knocked out Cadian and his men, and they would be looking for revenge. Of course, both the teams winning one and losing one. That being said, though, one thing I wanted to point out, which Maui said, was when it comes to the map pool over here, G2 actually are the slight underdogs, because Heroic, they have the deep map to force it on into Vertigo, and he gets a very fast play on towards the A-bomb side.
Down, stuck at the back of the sandbag, is going to have to fight his way out, and so far he's passed those tests as he tries to back away to the side, but they're so low. There's so many G2 players sniffing them down, but Stown is continuing to land headshots. It's headshots aplenty, and he can lock it down single-handedly with a 4K. We're kicking things off fast in this game.
That is a way to start the game. All right. This game, it was looking to deliver Vince, and it's already delivered in just the one round. A very fast play coming in, and this was just a very uncomfortable position. Look at where he's standing, Vince, out in the middle of nowhere, having to take duels on multiple fronts, having to take care of ramp, having to take care of the players pushing up short as well. And for those very crucial 2 or 3 seconds where he was waiting for his teammates to arrive, he just needed to stay alive. He did even better. He found 3 massive kills. Great shooting coming out from the star of this Heroic lineup. And speaking of stars, I mean, look at the players in the server right now, right? You're talking about Tessus, who was looking incredible yesterday. You, of course, have the trio in the form of Stan, Refresh, and Shush as well. And Cadian, right now the highest rated player for his team, he did say, you know, in the interview as well, he needs to really step up on LAN, because we know how dangerous it can be online. And on LAN, let's be real, when it comes to some of these big matchups, these sort of games where they go up against some of the top dogs, he has kind of failed to deliver at times as the primary opper, and he has really come to play here, at least on day one. Right now, though, for G2, it's just going to be the pistols being purchased. They have invested in a bit of utility, however. You can see Monacy with the Molotov lobbing it in, but a good counter molly from Tessus to try and force them not to come to the scaffolding, and they will come charging up towards the ramp, but it's a big bloodbath.
Yeah, there's very little investment into this round on the side of G2. They pretty much had Glock, so fairly comfortable in the end. Quite a lot of those kills coming off SMGs is great news for the CTs, though. Builds up that economy early on.
And right now, another player we need to keep an eye out, and something Maui said as well, is how Monacy, right? He is the one player. He might be the main player, the main, you know, fulcrum for this G2 side, because he is a player who's supremely comfortable on Vertigo. He might not be as comfortable in some of the other maps like Nuke or whatnot, but we saw him coming in so clutch yesterday as well against Navi, despite it being a losing effort, right? So he's a player we're going to be keeping an eyes on here. Right now, a bonus round for Heroic, so expect to see a little bit of aggression, and that is exactly what we see from Tessus.
So much damage to Nico, lucky to survive, and Cadian puts him down through the smoke. A bonus, as you highlighted, and already they've taken the very valuable scalp of Nico, who's yet to get off the mark.
Yeah, early find, and as again, just looking at the weaponry possessed by Heroic, it is the bonus round, right? The 2 MP9s, which made a lot of money in round number 2. Still doing a lot of work with Shush. I do believe Alexi B has an inkling where he is. But he won't face. He doesn't really need to face. He doesn't need to show anything. Stan's there, playing up close, right at the first couple of steps of the stairs. We're looking at the way G2 are grouping up right now. Bear in mind, this is the buy round. They haven't found anything yet. They are slowly creeping and crawling their way up. First point of contact is going to be Stan. Smokes are going to bloom, and Stan is ready to pull that trigger.
That flash is so good. It's so huge, and 3 kills off the back of it, plus the additional frag onto Nico early on, puts Monacy with his back to the wall, but he has came out swinging. 2 kills to his name, the only 2 kills G2 have mustered in this round, and with 25 seconds on the clock, it's not looking good for the young Maestro. Players surrounding him, does have at least control over the bomb, but when you consider Cadian and Refresh and their current positions, this is looking untenable for Monacy. It would have to be some ridiculous insta-headshots, and Cadian, who is just chilling, coiled up, pounces in 3-0. That bonus round is successful.
It is very successful. The AK-47 getting picked up as well, and sure, even if you lose a couple of players, that's all right. Great hole coming out here from Heroic, right? We had the smokes being deployed, just the MP9s riddling away through the ARAM smokes. And I love this flashbang from Cadian. They were waiting patiently. The timing on the flash could not have been better. Ston get the kills, and despite being traded eventually, you know, it was a 1v3, 1v4 rather. Monesi trying his best to try and clutch it out, but unfortunately, he did have a number of clutches yesterday, Vince, but today, still early days, however. It's going to be the pistols now for the side of G2. Everyone grouping up together. Shush, he spots a pixel. He needs to be careful here. The nade won't really deal much damage. LXB up close and personal. And right now, he's alone at the B bomb site.
He's been flashed out multiple times. Is staying alive, though, which is the most important aspect of this. As long as he stays as a foundation, the rest of his team can build off that on the retake. And the bomb's still yet to get planted. Additionally, they have some HEs. They can toss these in. Going to be a bit of damage, but the bomb now does finalize down in position. Tons of damage from the smokes and the generators, and Tessis will claim first blood. This is where the boosted up Nico with the Deagle could be the difference maker. Monesi will be his foundation. And Heroic are taking their sweet time. Half of that fuse is already ticked away. They're going to have to start pushing in. And Nico, mid-air, plucks out Cadian, deals the fatal damage. This is where things start to get really awkward for Heroic. They've got to get onto the site. They need to get this defused any second now. But Nico is continuing to put bullets into bases. The full defuse is coming to the forefront, though. But it gets cancelled away. And that will be G2 taking their first round.
Well, what a way to start things off for G2 the first round, just with the pistol light by and a couple of smokes getting deployed. And that's when, if you allow the T's to get the bomb, what is that from Nico, though? It's not even a first shot, the second shot. Plucking the player from mid-air. Ston did his best to be the bodyguard over there, but huge round from G2. For Heroic, fortunately, because they've had a very successful bonus round, they will be able to eke out a very, very comfortable buy. Well, the AWPs coming out for both sides as well. Of course, it's going to be Monesi for G2 and Cadian wielding the off the CD side. But that's what happens sometimes when you allow the T's to have control of the B bomb side, and especially with the Tech 9s and Deagles, you're coming on in. Sure, you might have the superior weaponry, but then you have the close range, and the T's have so many angles to work with. And sometimes it's best to, you know, try and prevent them from getting the bomb down, but unfortunately the timing did quite pan out for Heroic. They had only one player towards B. He did the smart thing falling back, but they took too damn long and slowly crept on in. And of course, when you have someone like Nico with the Deagle, he's going to be cracking a couple of skulls, and that's exactly what happened here. For the side of Heroic right now, they have utilized a lot of their utility early on. They have just the one smoke and a Molotov in the hands of Refresh, but fortunately, he is the guy who's going to be making contact early on.
Oh, that flash was perfect. Tess is fully blinded, and the Finn, Alexi, will pounce and make the most of the opportunity. Cadian caught in an awkward position, but still stands his ground. We'll have more players to contend with, but Refresh is there, and the crossfire is good enough to send G2 packing.
This is a great flank coming in, though. They've managed to draw out the rotation, and Hunter and Jax grouping up together, making the way towards mid. There's no one in the B bomb side, so the player making contact, it is going to be Refresh. But they've lost control of the B bomb side. Vince, but Monesi has got the bomb, and he somehow lands attack on his stun. How quick is this guy? It's right now a 3v3. But look at how low some of the players are. Monesi, it's unconfirmed damage, mind you, as Refresh finds Hunter in the meantime.
Monesi is still so aggressive. Combat AWPing. Once this kill, he can sense the blood in the water. But be careful what you wish for, because Stone's going to stand his ground.
No time.
And the bomb has been put on the ground as well. Jax cannot do anything about this other than save the AK, and Heroic put an abrupt end to G2's victory. They get the one round with pistols. They instantly fall back on themselves. And although Jax will have an AK, the money across the rest of the team here, Blair, is looking quite bleak on the side of G2. If they do get a buy, it's going to be an incredibly scrappy one.
That was a scrappy round. That was a very scrappy round. Great job from Cadian and Refresh, even though they lost tests early on towards the A-bomb side, towards the ramp position. As you pointed out, a great flashbang enabling LXB to get the kill. But they had a great crossfire, shutting it down. And G2, they had control. But again, it is Ston, right? He is the thorn in the side. 10-1 already early on, and that is so unfortunate. Jax, he tries to find the timing, but Tess is spamming away. Out in smoke. That's the only save AK-47, which should be retrieved, but they might have fallen in a very uncomfortable spot here for Monesi to grab onto. So, for the time being, The AK won't be retrieved. They still have the pistols, and one thing we know about G2, those pistols can be deadly. Immediate swap the AK-47. It is going to be Hunter wielding it. He's the one with Kevlar alongside Nico as well. For Nico, he's got the deagle. Double man hold towards short. We have refresh towards the A bomb site on top of the boxes. Being a bit aggressive. A minute on the clock to work with for G2.
Tess is thinking about going in for that peak, but G2 taking their time. Just watching on the ramp side. This is where they love one of these deagles to pop off, but it's m0NESY with the Tech 9. This taking point. Now Hunter steps up to the plate. They discuss the entry fragging distribution on G2 coming into this expertly on the desk. And this is where they need Hunter to go above and beyond. Time still dwindling. Nades being tossed in. Smoke in prime position allows Cadian the angle to peer down onto the ramp side. And at some point, G2 are going to have to try and go in for this entry. It's going to have to be raw. There's no flashes or smokes to utilize. Looking for the run boost. Forces up. Refresh takes the kill away, though, and sprays in for 2 more. Heroic put down the gauntlet, and G2 fail to muster anything in return.
I thought that was Caden hitting the flick shot, but it's refresh with a headshot midair, which is even more impressive if you think about it. Attack timeout getting called by G2 here very early on. I'm going to take a look at his POV. Actually, never mind. Still, just very, very sharp shooting coming out from refresh there. For G2, yeah, they didn't really have much utility. Sure, they had the AK-47. They tried to just swarm the bomb site, you know, just presenting so many targets that Heroic would be a little confused, but they had 3 CTs lying in wait. Once more, the replay.
Oh, the first kills on sandbags.
What?
He didn't even, he was aiming at the second guy. Thank you very much for that replay.
I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, the first kill was sandbag player, so he's just ran out and just got wrecked in the head out of nowhere. Oh, no.
It do be like that at times, Vince. It do be like that. 5-1 does the tactical timeout will run out. A multitude of smokes and incendiaries being dropped towards spawn as well, thanks to the nade update, which at this point has been there for a while. I still keep thinking it's something very recent, Vince. Here we go, though. m0NESY with the AWP. The early Molotov for the back of sandbags to prevent any CTs from... Okay, hold up, Stawn. He's already down ladder so early in the round, Vince, and the timing, he can potentially catch someone off guard, but Lexi B, he seems to be wary. Stawn, though, looking the wrong way, and he still somewhat spins around and deals quite a bit of damage, and now he realizes that little window of opportunity, it has been shut in his face, and he will peel back towards mid. Jax could potentially still, however, catch him, crossing back over, but Jax decides not to stick around.
You see the reverberating effects it has, though. Not only have they been able to do quite a lot of nade damage to Lexi and Nico, but it's slowed down G2 so much. They're so respectful of Stound's position that they've not pushed through ramp yet. They've not really started to get inroads towards B. That's changing now, though.
Yeah, and this is the right call from G2, right? Because of the flank coming in from Stawn, he would have conveyed information to his teammates. Listen, there are multitude of players towards the bottom of ramp, try and have heavier presence towards A. So the G2, they peel back, as you pointed out, towards the B bomb site. Hunter gonna try and one way, and he finds Shush. That's a huge find. However, there's still one more CT nearby that is going to be Stawn. But that is man advantage here, Vince. But again, time, it could be an issue. 35 seconds remaining here. Nico making his way up towards mid. The remaining CT slowly peeling back towards the A bomb site, where just one player lies in wait. It is only on Caden with the AWP, but 24 seconds, they need to make a bit of haste here.
Additionally, Caden nearly has full grenades. He's got Incendiary and a HE. This is going to be very good stopping power towards the site. Now there is a smoke, though, onto the site itself. Going to blockade a little bit of that vision. Caden looking for the banked angle with the grenade. Molly tossed onto the site. Second Molly also on the site. 5 seconds to go. Jax has to go for an awkward angle here. But Nico with 3 entries out of nowhere just shuts down Heroic.
That was a flank, Vince. We saw him making his way towards ladder, and you were right. They had the utility, they had the nade, but what they weren't expecting, what they didn't have were eyes behind them, because Nico sneaking in from behind. We couldn't even see his POV, but all we saw was his headshot. Pop, pop, pop goes the Weasels, and this is just the most perfectly timed flank we've seen thus far. Brilliant stuff from Nico there, because that could have spiraled out of control. They barely had any time. The bomb went down with about 5 seconds remaining on the clock, but Nico, the hero that G2 needed, and he delivers. A buy will still be very much within the realms of possibility here for Heroic, although the money has taken quite a hit, and you can see the amount of utility they have remaining. No incendiaries right now on any of the players. They have 3 smokes and a couple of flashbangs to work with. No kits either. looking to take the fight towards Ram. This time Tessus will fall. Nico, he continues his reign of terror.
Oh, there needs to be a counter kill there. You feel like one of the peak from Cadian on the ramp, but there was a well-placed flashbang, kept them at bay. Smoke now deployed, but the damage has already been done. And as you see, Nico starting to pick up a little bit of pace, and that's going to be a terrifying prospect if you're over on the side of Heroic. This time rapidly getting in on the B side, looking for double boosts up as well. We saw a one-way smoke yield a frag in the previous round on Hunter, but this time he will be preyed down from Shush, and in doing so, they're going to get aggressive on the A side here as well. It's pretty much free.
It's all a ruse. It's all a ruse. The smoke's getting deployed. You can see the CTs. They have read this, though, Vince. You can see the rotations immediately taking place. They might have heard a couple of footsteps because there was a lot of sound being made by G2 as they head back towards the A bomb site, but already 3 defenders, make the 2 defenders lie in wait. And we can see the B bomb site being relinquished as well by Heroic. 27 seconds to get the bomb down. Now, fortunately for them, Heroic, they don't have any nades and no incendiaries. So the bomb will be planted, and now it's 4v4 retake. But this lurk from Refresh could be everything.
Yeah, this is huge, and you can see Jax is definitely up to the task. He's seen this before. He's just jump spotting, looking for that refresh play. They go out for the peak, but m0NESY will not miss his chance. And with that kill, that may be the save being called. You mentioned before that their utility was low. That's because their money is overall in a very rough position. Yeah. So save will be coming to the forefront just to allow them a buy into the next round. Now puts G2 on 3. They don't have to rush down the Rampiva, so they can just save up here instead. And it looks like Refresh will not be challenged. Thus, 5-3 will be the score, and Heroic will save 3 weapons.
Yeah, great round there from G2. And for Refresh, it's totally understandable why he didn't peek the bottom of ramp. He was waiting for his teammate to maybe get a kill, because we saw Jack spotting him, right? He was jumping over the sandbags, he was jump spotting the flank from Refresh, and Refresh was very cognizant of that fact. So what he was waiting for was for a kill to go his teammate's way, or at least a trade. And then he could try and catch someone off guard amongst the confusion, get that timing in. But once m0NESY gets that first kill, and that was a very impressive kill. He didn't fall for the player jumping across. He waited for the peak to come in, and he took down the AWP there. So 5-3 for G2. It is a save here. And because of that, Heroic, they're trying to be a little bit more aggressive. They know they have the weaponry disadvantage. A couple of 5-7s here for Shush and Tessus, and Hunter will pluck Star's head clean off his shoulders. That's an important pick to find towards the B stairs entrance. And now Shush, remember, he's only got the 5-7.
Interestingly, they didn't go for a full force 3 gun. They could have scraped together a buy. It does allow them some opportunities into the next one, but it seems like G2, for the time being, behind that smoke, are going to just take their time. m0NESY boosted up, trying to peer over that smoke. Nothing forthcoming. Heroic, even though they are a player behind and have a lack of utility, are positioning themselves across the map in spots where they get earlier alarm systems off place. They can go for those fast rotations if the call does come in, but G2, they're really slowing this round down now.
Tessus, though, somehow finding the little window as he slowly makes his way down. Now, this is with 40 seconds on the clock. The timing could catch G2 off guard. You can see the couple of players pushing up towards the B bomb site, though, and you can see the bomb will be following them. It is going to be shot down, fall down the line. He finds one. A second, however, will not come to fruition. Hunter takes down Shush. The bomb will be lobbed in. Smoke's getting deployed, and unless Tessus can find a timing here in m0NESY, he's being very patient here. Vince is going to find one, looking for the second kill as well, but somehow he doesn't get the kill. Now it's a 3v2, and suddenly it's man advantage for Heroic.
Hunter and Alexi still alive, though, and the bomb is ticking away in the background. We saw earlier the first round G2 picked up was on the B side because Heroic were too slow. They took way too long, and this time maybe overzealous' Refresh trying to leap around the side. Puts Tessus and Cadian in a bit of a lurch position now, and Cadian realizes this is untenable, especially as there's no kit that they have under possession. It's a nice effort, but G2 now, from a 5-1 deficit, have closed the gap to just 1 round. Cadian with his save, maybe able to squeak out a buy, although the economy's not great for the rest of the Danes.
Great round from Hunter there, Vince, because that flank from Tessus could have completely ruined their day, but able to get the 4 kills. Yes, sure, a couple of the players who only had the pistols, but still ensuring that things don't slip out of their hands. The first kill, though, this is so well read by Hunter, and then ably trained for players as well. You gotta be, imagine if Refresh is jumping around the corner. It's not really a very easy jump to make, and then you have Hunter in your face, smacking it down. 52 floors. Heroic now. A bit stymied, Vince. It looked like they were off to a fantastic start there. We saw in the beginning itself Dawn with that brilliant 4K on the USP, in the anti-eco as well, surviving along with their bonus round. But then ever since G2 were able to win that one round with the half buy, they've started to look better and better. And right now, this game, again, our desk did point out, heading into Vertigo, it's a map that G2 would not necessarily be too comfortable with, but it is something they couldn't help because of how deep and how solid Heroic's map pool is. But right now, they are indeed putting up a fantastic fight. 5-4, as the buy will come in for Heroic. It is a FAMAS for Shush, the rest of them A1s and an AWP, a decent bit of utility as well for the CD side. And for G2, of course, money for days for a number of these players. Alexibi's an 8,300, mind you, and this after the bye, after having lost 3 members in the previous round. Still a little quiet for young Monacy, though, right? Again, T-side opping, Vertigo, it's never that easy. It's on the CD side where we really want to see him kind of explode. But some of the players you look at, the Cousins, the Kovacs, Nico, and Hunter, being extremely impactful here early on. As Heroic looked to try and aggress here towards ramp, but the timing could potentially go wrong. Nico going to be the first guy coming upside the scaffolding area, and with the smoke being deployed here, might just opt to push ahead of the smoke. Just find himself ahead of it. The wall bangs by Tessus. A clear tell as to where the CTs are playing, and now the 4 CTs lying in wait. If G2 head towards its bomb site, this could be disastrous. I don't see anyone lurking as well.
First, we've seen this smoke a couple of times already, mollying the sandbags, just cordoning off that area. But Refresh is playing around the edge of the smoke. The spray is not on point, and Monacy punishes him. Although heavy damage is inflicted, Refresh will feel like he should have done better there. And it puts the rest of his teammates on A, even though it is a bolstered up defense, into a bit of a lackadaisical position. They need entries, and they need them right now. And Hunter moves into the double peek from Tessis, and Refresh now going to be coming away from the grave. There's 10 seconds to go, and Cadian shows his hand with the AWP. Although Jax is keeping himself in this round, there's only 4 seconds to play with. Has to tickle the bomb out, do a bit more damage. The headshot is crisp, but Shush still lives. The damage, though, is so heavy towards Heroic's economy that they're not going to fully establish themselves after even winning this round.
At least you're able to salvage the AWP at the end over there. Jax making it so very expensive. And honestly, if you had like 5 more seconds, I could see Jax pull this one off. Great attempt from him, but they just ran out of time, Vince. And of course, it was all predicated off Tessus being aggressive towards short. He finds the first couple of kills, continues to hold W, picking up a nifty little 3K over there. G2 maybe taking a little bit too much time towards that play. And this is, mind you, despite the fact that Heroic had 4 players stacked. Even then, it came down to the 1v1. The time being the savior for the Danes. Tessus once more. Bastion of this short position. Playing in front of the smoke here, and Monacy trying to spot something. He sees him, and that is a perfect pick from Monacy, enabled by the flashbang from Nico as well. Tessus wasn't just caught out in the open, he was blinded for days as well, Vince, and that's a huge opening pick. Now with Tessus gone, that's going to draw out the rotation from Heroic. They might even opt to be aggressive towards another part of the map. In fact, they're just leaving A to A bomb site right now. They're committing towards this B play, and that leaves just the one player towards the A bomb site, that is Cadian, and he will be plucked by Hunter. That's a call for the save. You save right now if you're Heroic.
Refresh is still keeping himself in close proximity, though, surprisingly, with that smoke. May very well force him away. Flashbang over. Feels like it's more just buying up time than anything else. And indeed, the save is coming in for Heroic. This is also one of the downsides and one of the aspects of losing so many players in that previous round. It doesn't really give you any freedom to play with. Your options are limited. You're running dry in that regard. So G2, they started so poorly. Their one round they picked up in the first 4 or 5 was off a pistol that Heroic kind of flubbed, in all honesty. They took way too long on the retake. But since G2 have picked up rifles, since they've got themselves stabilized in this game, they have looked by far and away the more comfortable team. And that's a little bit of a worrying sign on the side of Heroic. When we saw Vertigo come up, we were a little bit I don't want to say necessarily shocked about G2's decision to let it through, but maybe a bit concerned about what that would mean in terms of their standings going into this game. Well, so far, Hunter in particular has been a man possessed. He's been getting entries across the board. These last couple rounds, we've seen m0NESY start to get some entries as well with the AWP, so things starting to click together nicely.
Yeah, it's been a team effort, as the cliche goes, Vince. Like, everyone's had their moments. We saw that massive flank from Nico as well in a round where they barely had any time remaining. We've had m0NESY get some openings. Hunter coming in massively clutch. Like, there we go. Great opening from Hunter, but Shush, he just quiets them as Tessus finds Nico as well through the smoke, and they continue to aggress. m0NESY has seen the player. It is so very quick. Refresh will fall, and look at m0NESY go, Vince. He's going to use his own smoke to creep on up ahead. Scoped in. Should be heard by the CT right alongside him. That is, of course, Tessus, and Tessus opts not to stick around. Falling back as m0NESY, the Molotovs give away is where Tessus potentially is, and the timing could not have been better for Tessus. Jax left alone in a 1v3. Huge 2k from Shush there. Not only gets a trade, but gets a 2k towards the B stairs.
I'd love to see that from his perspective, because that second kill must have been a flick straight to the dome. Lightning fast. For him to double up, you can see the two corpses on the ground here, right next to one another. And now Jax, who put a lot of damage down a couple rounds ago, when he really had no right to get even close into that, and it was just time that worked against him, still has 50 seconds on the clock to make some inroads up on B. That Molotov will be good to force Cadian away. He'll smoke down, so at least Jax now knows where one of these three players currently resides. Smoke in will afford him safe passage, and the play on the generators. And now Jax knows where one player is. He now knows where both. He's heard the footsteps. This is a winnable round for Jax, but Tessus will dethrone him. Jax is having some big moments now in the last few rounds, but Heroic get their 7th on the board.
Man, Jax is so very clutch, right? We've seen a couple of instances here already where, sure, that clutch and play out his way, but he had the right idea. If it won the duel with a play towards window, that could be huge, and you pointed it out. What a beautiful spray transfer from Shush, a laser gun, and Tessus as well, lining up his crosshair perfectly. Nico actually peeked off the smoke, but then Tessus, 2k for him as well, and Lex B looking to take an early fight here. Flashes popping from both the sides, but Shush will be forced back early on over here. m0NESY once more looking to find something. Tessus pushed up pretty deep. As the bullets, he's dodging them. Just going whizzing passes here at Tessus. He's shown where he is. m0NESY's going to keep going for these wall bangs, but the nades just getting rained in along with the incendiary from Heroic. It's not really dealing too much of damage, but it's giving them that opportunity to peel back safely from that ramp fight.
The downside is, though, Blair, once a retake comes in, if it does, there's no incendiaries left, no HEs. They pretty much have smokes across the board, and there's still a minute to play with. So you can see both sides of it. Ends in a bit of a stalemate, but I'd say G2, considering the lack of damage they took, look at their utility still. They're looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, and they're continuing to head towards this A side, and m0NESY! What a find! Tessus caught jumping across. Just catches his shoulder, Vince, and he dislocates it with an AWP. And slowly, here to start creeping up here. Refresh has to do something, and he will find nothing.
Smoke out. Could be another save coming up, honestly. I don't think Heroic really have any chances of doing anything in this round. There's a slight gap in that smoke, though. So if a T decides to push by, it could be to their detriment. Jax decides better of that decision. And the post-plant comes to the forefront. But Heroic, they don't look too interested in this as of yet. They're trying to peel back, and Nico really should have had that kill. A player of his caliber, you expect him to come out ahead of that one in Cadian. It's like, what are you doing around here, you sly little dog?
I do love how Nico just went for the taps there, up close. Like, almost any other player would just gone for the spray, and it just taps away. And if he got it, it would have been like, holy hell, Nico's such a god. But then Cadian, a little bit more accurate with the 5-7 of his. But G2, that's fine. That's okay. You lose one player, and you are right now one round behind that of Heroics. Now, for Heroic, it's a hard call to make here. They could force, but it'll be what the two of the players that die, they'll have to wield maybe a pistol, and the other one might have a FAMAS drop. But if he does get a FAMAS drop, that's going to minimize the utility And you could see, Vince, in the previous round, you pointed out how they'd use up all the nades and the incendiaries early on. So because of that, they were kind of forced to take the fights at ramp. They were like, okay, we can't allow them up easily onto the bomb site because they don't have that the utility to keep them at bay or to go for the retake. So we need to find a couple of kills and then maybe peel back towards the bomb site. Unfortunately, m0NESY finding the perfect timing. Tessus was jumping across, and then like he didn't see m0NESY because his head model was behind the wall, and the second jump, m0NESY, he doesn't miss that, shots like that especially. And then, of course, NiKo getting the second one as well. Just brilliant stuff from G2. Just basically catching Heroic making tiny little mistakes, right? It's not like any forced errors being inflicted here by G2. But for Heroic, considering the start they had, considering how solid they were looking early on, and considering that our desk did say that Heroic would be the favorites here in this particular matchup, especially Vertigo, we definitely have a game on our hands. Josh, this time, will find Jax. He does take a bit of damage, but 46 HP. The trade-off being taking down the Danger Man, the Frenchman on the side of G2. They'll take it.
m0NESY uncharacteristically misses the shot. It's down. We'll take that warning. Heats it back away. Tess is going to get the drop onto NiKo. Super fast reactions from NiKo to even nearly jump on top of that one. And now Hunter, double entries onto the sites. Down May best Alexi, but that bomb is picked up instantly afterwards. Fast rotation sees two CTs, though two Danes pick up the mantle on the B side. And so although G2 have had success, this round is far from over.
m0NESY calling it out that he's heard a couple of players towards window and is looking to find one here, and Cadian might fall, and indeed he will, but Tessa's still towards A bomb site. What do Heroic do right now? It's a 2 versus 2. They've lost sight of the bomb. Hunter now going to be grouping up with m0NESY. They have options available to them, Vince. Still 50 seconds on the clock, and because of that, we can see the proactiveness coming out from Refresh. He's going to be going in for the push towards mid, coming down the ladder, and that could be the round-winning play here for Heroic.
Refresh will be able to maybe not get one of these kills outright, but as soon as that first bit of contact is done, it may be good enough. But as you said, he's headed towards the B site here. That is leaving Tessus in the lurch. He's got a small angle on side. Now the mollies come in. That will give away the plan, the masterful play from G2, and Hunter, with his third entry in the round, leaves it to m0NESY. And it was that decision that cost them so dearly. Refresh thinking it was B over A.
It's so 50-50 though, right? He had the right play, but 5 seconds earlier, Vince, and he would have seen them. And he could have definitely have found maybe even both of them. What a round from Hunter, though. What a round from Hunter. And there's all this of m0NESY, right? He was towards mid, he conveyed information to his teammate that, listen, you're all by your lonesome right now. The 2 CDs lying in wait. Just head on back. Wait for me to find a pick towards mid. Great call and great kills as well from Hunter and m0NESY holding the flank. And Heroic, they just capitulate there. Tag time as well, getting called by G2. All right, despite tying things up as we head into the final round of the first half, Vince, it's even Stevens. G2 showing that there are no minnows on this map, and they can definitely go toe-to-toe with the might of this Danish side. I do like what the picture the desk painted earlier as well, where they pointed out how for Heroic, once it beat Na'Vi at the RMR, it was kind of like a curse being broken. It was kind of like, finally breaking the mental barrier. And then for them to do this against G2 here in this best of one would be even better for them as a unit. But right now, G2 not making it easy at all. Great flashbang, brilliant flashbang. m0NESY will fall, courtesy of the flash. Even though Caden gets the kill, it was a flash that got the kill, in my opinion.
Still 2 players on the side. Shush going for the wide swing and takes the head of Hunter. It's not enough for the kill, but it'll make him dizzy and dazed on the approach. Refresh has the off angle. We've seen Cadian play this a couple of times. He's lost his teammate, but all he has to do is stay alive. And if they don't molly this angle, if he doesn't show his hand, they could line up for 2 or 3. There's also 2 weakened players. Jax joins Hunter in that mantle, but NiKo sprays down Cadian. That may make Refresh feel like he has to snatch in here and take some kills. There's more than a second as well. And the flash from Cadian is so good. And NiKo put one in as well. Could have done more harm than good to his teammates. Suddenly, this spins back around in favor of Heroic. The bomb drop position is grim. And with a smoke down on the stairs, Hunter and NiKo have got to try and chime together in tandem. Molly up and over, clearing out the angle. But now this is where things get so difficult for G2.
And Refresh is tucked into the same position as well. They might not be expecting this great nade, however, taking him down at 53 points of health. And you got to remember, Hunter is on 16 HP. This could be very, very grim for G2, but the cousins, we know how capable they are.
Oh, there's two players you want in this position. It's these two. So much cohesion and chemistry. But Heroic, they've got great positions, and the time itself is working against the cousins. Refresh gets the drop onto Hunter, and Nico with 10 seconds has to go huge. The one tap onto Tessis is sublime, but it was a bridge too far. And Refresh was the ace up the sleeve they needed. The Danes will lead going through into the second half, but by the slimmest of margins.
That was played to perfection by Refresh, Vince. So many times you could see it going through his head. Do I peek right now? Do I peek right now? My teammate just died at the B bomb site, but he finds the perfect timing. He even walks in a little bit closer to ensure he gets a 2K over there. No way Jackson and Lexi were expecting him to be in that position. And then he repositions himself in the same pillar. 4K, huge round for Refresh, despite Nico almost pulling off what it seemingly looked like the impossible. The one tap with the final bullet of that AK-47, but unfortunately the Deagle couldn't get anything done. So Heroic, the narrowest of leads heading to the second half here. Now they're going to be on the T side. For G2, we have the kit in the hands of Alexi B, a couple of flashbangs, 4 flashes for the CD side, and a smoke for Hunter. The smoke getting dropped by Nico to its cousin. Alexi B and Monacy. Monacy looking to spot someone down towards the ramp position from the scaffolding. Doesn't see anyone as Heroic just grouping up together. A 5-man unit. They have left Cadian behind, just watching towards mid, looking for a potential flank. As his 4 soldiers, they march on ahead. They have a flash Vince and a couple of P250s. In the hands of Shush and Ston. They're going to be the mini raid boss in this round.
Difficult one to deal with, but it's so tense right now, Blair. You can feel the tension between these two teams. A 1-for-1 matchup, so much on the line in the legend stage of the Major, and it's Refresh, who's just off the back of a fantastic round, has had tons of impact early in this one. But Nico puts his USP to use before he gets diced by Shush's P250. And there's still time on the clock. There's still the ability for Cadian to get this flank in. We saw Nico from this very position lock down around, but Hunter is up to the task. Even trades back and forth. Heroic have options. The bomb is now making use up on the ramp side, and Shush puts the P250 to use once again. And it puts Jax into such an awkward spot. He has got a couple of very good back-to-the-wall plays. It seems like when he's at his most dangered, he really does step up to the plate. But this may be too much to ask from him, as Tessis behind the site is able to just play possum, allow his teammate to come in as well if he needs him. But so far, they're doing a good job of just whittling away this time. Jax is depleted on the magazine as well. Just a couple more bullets left in the chamber, and he's going to have to use all of them if he's going to clutch this round out. Tessis now relocates. He is hurt by Jax, though, but on the retreat, he will remove the head and get that second pistol to the Danes.
He could have clutched it out. He picked up the kit off Alexi's body, and I'm sure there was a smoke lying somewhere in the vicinity as well, because that's where all the CTs fell. And if he gets a first kill on the Tessis, that could have been potentially him even sticking to defuse. But huge round being won here by Heroic as they take both the pistols. Brilliantly played by Tessis, mind you. The P250 more than capable of going up against USPs at range. A force buy will be coming in for G2. Holding presence towards mid, 3 members. And Hunter boosted up where he is. He does have his teammate nearby in the form of Alexi B, who has been whittled down to 16, so he will backpedal real quickly. Hunter's been spotted, his feet seen by Ston. And Hunter slowly peeling away as well. He knows that little element of surprise they had has swiftly dissipated. Aggressive stance from Nico in the meantime at the near the bottom of ramp as well. There's a bit of a standstill right now as Heroic 4 members grouped up towards mid. This could be scary, man. When you have these rifles coming up towards mid, so many angles where you can just get pincered by the CTs. And there we go, Nico. It just needs one bullet, and that's the call for them to head on towards mid. But they're going to be swapped off as well. Their avenue, you could actually split to A or towards B, but where do they go is the question.
This is looking menacing now. Heroic, they've back to the smokes. They know the CT's been encircling them. And Monacy puts the Deagle down range, but Tassis straight back in with 2 Galil headshots. And just like that, the round falls into place, but it's not without a couple twists and turns and scary moments.
That looked a little dicey, I won't lie. Honestly, he finds us first. He even sees the second T jumping on top. He was able to see him through the grating. But great recovery overall from Tessus. Great 2K there. Nico getting a little unlucky. Maybe not expecting the peak there from Tessus, but Heroic 10-7. They start to once more extend their lead. Tessus having a hell of a game, 16-12. Everyone chipping in for the side of Heroic, and on the side of G2, of course, as you pointed out earlier, Vince Hunter having a phenomenal game thus far. Nico as well, he had that one magnificent clutch earlier on. m0NESY has kind of started to come alive as well in a couple of the rounds where he had the AWP, but right now, he won't have his weapon of choice. No AWP yet for young m0NESY. No rifles for anyone. It's just the Deagles and a couple of the players in the hands of the Frenchman, the former Jax and Nico. Nico and a Deagle. It's a saying at this point.
I mean, going back many, many years, back to his mouse sports days, he's known as one of the best Deaglers on the planet. He's had so many clips, so many moments.
I might even say he's the best, honestly. I'll just go out on a limb and say it, right?
I think that's definitely a fair assessment.
A bit of a stack towards B here. And Heroic are crawling their way towards that very side. The 4 players here lying in wait. Nico's the only one on the A bomb side. And bear in mind, there is still a P250. There is still a Deagle in play here. Alexi B, Jax, Hunter, and m0NESY.
This could get a little bit tantalizing for G2, because they can now hear the stampede of T's pushing towards them, looking to try and gore the oncoming CTs, but the first frag is USP1. It's Alexi B who gets 2 USP headshots. And now Heroic with 24 seconds left. They're scrambling. They're desperately trying to get any kind of ground that they can onto the site. And now all of the CTs are moving in close proximity. There's P250s, the Deagles, and Jax has rattled the skull of Refresh. Stavn will at least put him down with the fire, but they still need to get the bomb across to the site. And look who's watching the cross. It's Nico, but he falls down, and Cadian clutching with just seconds to spare.
That got unnecessarily very, very close for Heroic. We saw the stack coming in, Vince, but they were so trepidant of pushing on in. They could try to swarm the side, but Jax he missed a lot of his shots initially, but he did such a good job just whittling away the HP, keeping them at bay with the Desert Eagle. And Alexi B, as you pointed out, with a USP, getting 2 kills as well. Jax chipping in with a 3rd, but then Heroic able to somehow stem the bleeding, but they've done quite a bit of damage to the economy. You can see the money's kind of low on a few of the players here for Heroic, despite having won the pistol and the following anti-ecos. And here comes a very fast play towards B. Shush's crosshair was on Jax, but he doesn't find the kill. Barely any damage in the direction of Jax, who's down to 74 HP, but he will be the one to find the frag. I love the pace being set there by Heroic. Unfortunately, even though they caught Jax out of the open, not quite able to capitalize on it, and Shush is going to be kicking himself because of that fact. Up in hands of m0NESY, and you got to look at the economy for G2. Look at the utility they possess. It's quite minimal, Vince. Again, a retake possibility is very slim. Jax is the only one with the Jax and Alexi B. They have a couple of smokes, a flash, and a nade. That is all they have to work with still a minute on the clock. So Heroic still do have the slight edge despite being a man down. Nade going to be lobbed in towards Jax's position, but he will not be anywhere in the vicinity.
Issue here as well, though. The Heroic are all clumped up on B. As far as they're concerned, they may be getting flanked right now. They have so little map control, and now they're blotting out the entire site, trying to relinquish this from the CT's control. Annul the partnership that Jax has got onto the site with generators, and now mollies, flashes, and Stavn comes in huge, but the spray is good for Hunter and Jax, and these A1S is starting to rip and tear the oncoming Ts. It's down to Refresh, spinning on the top, hoping for the best, crossing his fingers, and m0NESY puts him down in the dirt. And this is where m0NESY can certainly start to have more impact. We discussed this before. When he's on the CT side and he has an AWP in his hands, expect a power spike to come with it.
Oh, absolutely. And you can see, like, but for me, more impressively was just the way G2 held on to this, right? First, Jax being very lucky to stay alive, but then Jax getting a second kill. And even though Alexi B wasn't able to find a frag at the end, the fact that he just stayed alive dancing around the smoke alongside Jax, great work from the Frenchman. He might have had a couple of potential clutches which slipped out of his fingers in the first half, but right now on his B-bomb side, he's been fantastic. Heroic now down to just the pistols and a couple of AKs, and Kaden already getting dunked down to 39 HP early on. Shush and Tessus, and Ston will be the ones wielding the AK-47, and Shush once more getting boosted up here. This time Jax playing behind the pillar. It's not been seen. But a great flashback to find Alexi B, but Jax will reply immediately.
Rapid response. Jax keeping his team onto the site. Hunter will be laying him a helping hand from the generators, and double flank coming in to the forefront. However, Heroic still with a minute on the clock can wrap back around onto the A side of the map. And G2 should be cognizant of this. They should be wary of this being a distinct possibility. Nico is on point. Going back to the site, he is alone and doesn't have any utility, no smokes, no incendiaries to stave off this push. However, Heroic have no idea about this, so they still have to take their time and clear these angles too.
Yeah, and they have the smoke and a flashbang, which I envision them using before they make their way towards the bomb site, and that is going to be an easy tell for G2 to peel a player back, and that's actually what's going to happen here. With 35 seconds on the clock, you already have Hunter making his way to join his cousin and bolstering that A bomb site. The smoke will be popping any time right now. 25 seconds. The pistols at close range, though, Vince, could be deadly.
Oh, the Tech 9 is run and gun heaven. And Tessus and Refresh both have it. Here comes the aforementioned flashbang. Could be the difference maker if it can annul some of that vision. Nico gets hit with it plumb, but does turn his back, so it's barely affected, but it's enough to draw away the CTs long enough to afford and yield a bomb plant. And now Stown has the clear angle. He's not being peeked from the boxes. He's got the perfect angle to repel this Hunter push, but here is a flashbang, fully lands in his face, and he will be sliced and diced by Hunter. That flashbang is on point, but Tess is still in with a chance. Still with a Tech 9, but not for much longer. And that flash was a thing of beauty.
Flash being lobbed in by the Flash himself. Perfectly timed. There was no way he was going to be able to dodge that. If you saw the Flash on with your X-ray on right there, you could see it pops. Like, the moment he sees it, that's the second it pops. Brilliantly played. And Heroic, I like the attempt there to get the bomb down, the aggressive slight off angle from Ston. But G2 crossing their T's, dotting their I's, ensuring that whatever little bit of utility they have, they're going to use it with the utmost lethality. As here we go. Just a pistol this time. It's not the force fight. No AKs, just no armor, just a light bunch of pistols, and just should be Farm City for Jax.
Yeah, that Molotov should tell Jax everything he needs to know. Alongside Alexi, the hold is good. It's firm. They lose one player. That's going to be fine as long as it stays that way. Bomb's been dropped down as well, and this round now is a foregone conclusion. We have a real game on our hands here, man. This is going the distance, and it just seems like when one team starts to take a little bit of a lead, the other grabs them on the shoulders and pulls them back again.
Oh yeah, this is so back and forth. And honestly, I'd have to agree with Maui and Maniac on the desk when they said, you know, Heroic would be the kind of the slight favorites heading to this matchup, considering the map here, which is Vertigo. But G2, the CD side thus far, has looked very, very solid indeed. This is despite losing the pistol round, so great work overall. Especially, again, I will have to reiterate, this B hole from Jackson and Alexi has been great. It has been so well done. But that is something which G2 could try, Heroic could try and abuse a little bit. You know, about the amount of pressure they're exerting towards this B bomb side, that Nico kind of remains the sole A anchor. And that is something they could try and abuse and try and maybe go for a bit of a B ruse. Try and get the bomb planted towards the A bomb side, just play the post plan. That is something which we haven't really seen much yet from Heroic, but it could be here this round. Tessus has quietened down a little bit on his T side, hasn't really found the impact that he did on the CT side. 11 to 10 though, still a tiny lead, a tenuous lead for Heroic. As Tessus, the man just mentioned right now, slowly creeping on up the scaffolding. m0NESY playing towards sandbags. He's got Nico right next to him. The smoke will be a giveaway as to where he is, but there's no one to check for that position.
And he's lining that smoke up so we could extinguish it enough. We could still peek on the right side. Nicely done. Nico now moves into the ramp. There's a smoke down. He wants to take the initiative, take the fight to the T's. If he goes down without anything in return, though, that would be terrible news for G2. And he thinks better of that decision and just slightly backs off.
This is a two-pronged excursion coming in from Heroic, though, right? We have the plays towards mid. We saw it earlier as well in the second half. 3 players slowly grouping up. We have Shush at the bottom of the B stairs, ensuring no one is being aggressive. G2 haven't really been too hyper-aggressive towards the B stairs. Alexi B with the off angle here. If they find Alexi B, then they know the B bomb set's only Jax, and that allows them a couple of seconds to make this work. It's a bit of an off angle here. Could be good for one, but he should be traded if they do opt to go for this play. And look at the utility. It's kind of lacking here for the T's. No more flashes, Vince. No more smokes. No more nothing. Just the AK-47s.
And Alexi, because of the timing, is now just going to draw away. Go back to that B site. Refresh, though, pushing in, may get a drop, but indeed gets the opportunity for Jackson. Alexi lock it down, and now Hunter steps up. 3 kills back-to-back for G2.
Bombs down.
Is massive. And with a bomb down in mid and only 13 seconds on the clock, it's going to have to be raw fragging, and Munacy just silences Shush. Tess is stuck on the box. No real hope. No chance at clutching the round. We are tied up at 11 apiece.
The timing on Alexi B to just relinquish control of mid and just head towards the B bomb site, it couldn't have been even more perfect, Vince. The moment they try to go for the hit, he's nowhere to be found. The Molotov towards the window, the rotation coming in, absolute insanity. Meanwhile, yeah, the B stream update for you guys. It is, once again, easy for ENCE Outsider getting absolutely destroyed, Vince. 16 and 8, the scoreline for Snappy and his merry men. Holy hell, okay, ENCE. I see you. Right now, though, this one is not easy for anyone. Nico, looking to be aggressive. Again, Heroic, down to just the pistols. We have the saved AK-47 for Tesses, and he will find Nico. That is a huge find. Monacy with a hit and a miss, and now he's getting hounded down, Vince.
He has help, though. He has some supporting cast members. Hunter is there alongside him, so is Alexi, and it looks like the young Maestro will be safe after all. It was looking grim for a few moments, but that is teamwork in a nutshell. And let's be honest, Heroic had an AK and basically Glocks. They had very, very low % chance of getting anything done in that round.
Tessus, though, great opening kill on Nico. I didn't even see that, but it looked like it was so very quick. Good trade from Monacy, as you pointed out, though. The cavalry arriving in the nick of time. Monacy doing a fantastic job just staying alive. 5 on the trot for G2. They have looked incredible ever since they've got the rifles in their hands. Lost the first 3 rounds of the second half, but right now they're ablaze. They are on fire. And looking to try and close this one out. Still 4 rounds remaining for them, and bear in mind, Heroic can easily snatch this one back. Contact being made. Nico, this time he finds his vengeance. Tessus will fall, and no trade possible. The deep CD smoke keeping the other T's at bay, and Heroic once more left a little lost, a little floundering, a little just wondering, what do we do to crack open this defense from G2?
And just to go back on a point that you mentioned before, G2, when the rifles have come out on both sides, it's been a carbon copy. They've looked like the much better team. Keep in mind, Heroic won both pistol rounds, and they're still drawing away and getting slowly shaved out of this round. 5 could very well become 6 in a row for G2 as Nico goes from strength to strength. He hasn't had his best performance, but he's had a ton of impact. 19 HP separating him from his demise, and Munacy giving Stown a free haircut. That's going to be Heroic pretty much done in this round.
And this is exactly what Maui's talking about when he speaks about how Monacy is so very comfortable on this map, how he maneuvers around the map and finds his little angles, the little timings. He knows what the T's are up to, and he can be such a nuisance on the CD side. Of course, with just the incredible precision of his aim as well, he was going to be such a problem for Heroic as he moved on to the second half, and is showing so. He wasn't nowhere close to being the top fragger for his team on the by the end of the second half. By the end of the first half, Vince, right now 17 and 13. Sure, it's not getting like crazy multi-kills, but seemingly finding that 1 or 2 kills every round, which either forces Heroic to go for a save or just shuts it down at the end. Hunter, in the meantime, quietly on 21 kills. everyone chipping in for the side of G2. Alexi B and Jax being just a rock wall of defense on the B bomb side. Nico just popping heads towards ramp. Hunter just being everywhere. And of course, m0NESY, the closer, the turret with an AWP. Heroic, they seem to have no idea as to how to crack this right now. And I won't lie, it hasn't even been close, apart from a couple of rounds where they maybe get the bomb down. But even then, it's like a 2v3 or a 2v4 favoring the side of G2. And the retakes have been very, very clinical indeed. Tag timeout, the third one of this game, getting called by Heroic. And again, right, when it comes to Heroic, the one criticism I have with this team is when it comes to the big games. When I'm talking about in front of a crowd, in front of an arena, that's where I feel like, and I do believe Caden mentioned in his interview as well, it's like that's where our comms kind of fail at times. That's when we do tend to struggle a little bit. But they are, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree, you know, a studio LAN environment animal. They're so comfortable in these sort of LAN environments where there's no crowd, it's just a team versus a team on LAN. And that's where they get some of their big wins. And we saw it in RMR as well, we've seen it during other stages. But right now, G2, they seem to have the number here.
Nice statistic as well that 13-11 paints a bit of a false narrative. It's been close, but more than half of Heroic's rounds have been off the back of pistols. They've won 6 rounds, both pistols, and they've converted the subsequent 2 after that. So once G2 have had rifles in their hands, they have been by far and away the better team. And that's kind of what you're going alongside with what you were talking about before, that we're having these turrets being put into place now, the stability that the economy on the CT side has afforded G2. And it's hard to see how Heroic, at this stage, are going to really crack through this fortress that's been built up.
17 opening duels won by G2 here, Vince, but this opening duel will go the way of Heroic. Great find by Ston there. Cheeky little crouch peek around the corner and he'll try to retrieve that AK-47. Alexi B trying to use a smoke to find something. I don't think they're going to be expecting his position here. I think he can see it. He sees him. Well, I see him. He definitely sees him now. No, he hasn't. Now he does. Finally, he will find Ston. And he notices another player nearby. And with the final bullet, he gets a kill. But in the meantime, Tess and Shush, they find a couple of kills. m0NESY, Nico will fall. The A bomb site is open for business.
It is. Alexi decides not to go in for that peek. There's Molotovs on 19 HP. Correct decision. Perfect crosshair. The timing for Shush nearly works against him. And Jax is still alive. You mentioned that they were this B side, just wall that had been deployed. But that wall is now closing in on Heroic. And is Cadian able to step up to the plate and deliver with his AWP? He's been quite quiet on this T side. This would be a huge moment for the man to strike. But they're going for the full defuse underneath his nose. The sheer audacity from Alexi.
Pros don't fake. Alexi B, he knew he was low. They had no idea where Cadian was. They don't tap the bomb. As you said, Vince, he just goes for the full stick. But also, again, finding these 2 kills over there at mid was so very important. I don't even see how Heroic are able to get this win those 2 duels towards the A ramp position, right? They took out Nico and m0NESY just with the pistols. The closest Heroic have come thus far on this T side, well, apart from the first 3 rounds, to winning around Hunter, though, being very aggressive. What a spray from Tessa's. m0NESY will, however, find him, and Hunter, he thought he was being sneaky, but the Hunter will be the hunted. Ston finds him, and once more man advantage here for Heroic. They need to capitalize now, Vince.
They didn't pull the trigger last time, but that 1 has become 2. Courtesy of Shush's entry. m0NESY, though, holding the line, dropped down to 46 HP, and Alexi will be jumping on the side. No way he's got a kill from that. I thought Stown had that one covered. Imagine he transferred into a second. Sheer lunacy, but money could be coming up, and another round on top of it if m0NESY can strike. This AWP is still in the picture, and as he wiggles his way through the smoke, half the timer left. He does have a kit. Couple flashes, but Cadian will nail him and make sure no second defuse is coming up on his watch.
They needed that round, Vince, and they do manage to make it happen. Finally, Heroic, a pulse, some signs of life. The problem here for the side of Heroic is the fact that G2 have built up such a bank, such a monstrous economy, that it's going to take a while more before they can break it right now. But they're doing what they could do. The previous round, it came down to the 1v1, right? Alexi B, the only one surviving. This round, everyone falls. So G2, They should be able to eke out another buy as a tactical timeout will be called. Heroic, they seem to at least have found something here. 1 round. They need a few more. G2 just need 2 more rounds to close this one out. And for Heroic, 4 more. 14 and 12. And even though, sure, G2 have the 2-round lead, you know, in a couple of rounds, you can just dissipate. Just like that. That was such a quick round coming in from Heroic, hitting the shots. But as we spoke about the money for G2, they're so flush with cash. A buy will come out. And even if they lose this round, Vince, and lose all the players, they can still have yet another buy. So Heroic, they have a lot more tests ahead of them before they can feel even slightly comfortable.
Exactly. There's no easy way back in. This is the long yards. Hunter can count himself lucky. He survived that onslaught. 2 grenades land by his feet. Stown tagged down to 5, nearly fragged from the Molotov, while there's a flash in there as well. Unconfirmed damage though, but G2 do keep all 5 players alive and back away to the side.
Yep, Hunter exceedingly fortunate to be alive. Stawn as well, very, very low, and Hunter, he is everywhere. Towards mid now, ensuring no one's going to be pushing in towards CD Spawn. It's going to be very brave, peering down the mid corridor. Modesty. Oh, did he see someone? I'm not sure. I think there's an inkling. The flash is going to be a tell. He should be going for the re-peek here, but it's still going to be holding the line. Heroic, a lot of pressure here towards the A-ramp positions. Dawn, in the meantime, with the AWP lurk on 5 HP, unorthodox, but it is Dawn. As right now, Heroic, making no secret, they're going to be heading in towards the A-bombs and making a lot of noise. Utility getting deployed, but Nico will be the first line of defense alongside Modesty.
He's been chipped away down to 39 off grenades, off wall bangs, off the sheer bullets, and a barrage of them find its way. But there's 23 seconds left to flash into the peak, and the weakened Nico has now been finished off. Smoke onto the side as well. A trifecta of CTs are laid in wait, but one of them has been dethroned. Hunter with shrapnel. Modesty takes the shot, connects, backs away into the shadows, and allows Alexi to do the rest. 5 seconds to go. There's no grenades, though, to stop this plant. I don't think they can deny this. With 1 second, the bombs get planted down, and Heroic managed to clutch it out by the skin of their teeth.
27 HP between the 3 surviving members of Heroic. It could not have been any closer. Vince, you said it best. One nade, round's done. 1 HE, the round is done. Round is won by G2, but Heroic, by the skin of the teeth, they hold on. And not only do they win the round, they take away all the rifles from the hands of G2. So now G2 down to the bottom of the barrel, scraping the bottom of the barrel to eke out the buy here. It's still a very solid buy, mind you. They still have a bit of utility. Albeit Jax and Hunter just smoke and flash respectively. Alexi B down to the FAMAS. He's got no utility to speak of, but aggressive, a little bit of a stack here towards mid. They know Heroic have been poking and prodding towards the mid position multiple times, and they really haven't gone for the stack at all. Unfortunately for them, this time around, Heroic opt to go for the B stairs position, slowly creeping and crawling. Caden just holding the angle. Just to one man towards the bottom of ramp. That is, of course, Tess's. But the B bomb site has been where G2 have found their most success. It has been Jax being phenomenal, winning virtually every opening duel, clutching it out, dancing around, doing the dance macabre with Alexi B around the generated pillars area, and they've not ever seemed to have found the solution to him. In the meantime, Modesty catching Cadian. That's a huge opening pick to find.
That's the problem, isn't it, for Heroic on the B side? You've got this incredible wall that's been built up, and Hunter is pushed mid. We haven't really seen this from G2 yet. It's completely caught down off guard. But there is no easy part of the map for them to aggress on. Wherever they go, it's just fraught with terrors, fraught with traps, fraught with issues they have to contend with. And with 35 seconds now, Nico's stuck on the sandbags. As Modesty watching his back, they're going to Molotov this one in. Nico may feel compelled to just push around, but the smoke is there to defuse it. And now Tessus comes in. Big entries from him and Shush, but Modesty is still alive, but only for a couple more seconds. And now it falls upon Alexi and Jax to successfully retake and clutch again, and Alexi is making moves through the scaffolding. Has the open hand, misses the shot, and could get punished. Nails him with the no-scope through the wall, however, but Alexi showing why he doesn't AWP too often. And now Jax has it all to do. Big frag down, and Tessus on low HP just has to play the time, but he's not sure if Jax is holding on to this one, and Jax removes his head. He doesn't have a kit, though. It's going to be close, but I think he has this one in the bag.
He's got it.
And G2 will be 15-13 in the lead.
What a round from Jax. What a round from Jax, saving his team, and so many times, Vince, it's come close to clutching these moments multiple times in this game thus far. Finally, Lady Luck will smile down upon him. Perfect crosser placement there at the very end. He was blinded, but it just commits to the spray, gets the headshot. Brilliantly played. Alexi B, like you said, not really known for being an AWPer. A couple of whiff shots. But it's all good in the G2 camp for now. They're going to be using the final tactical timeout here to talk things through. They need one more round to close this one out. And Heroic. Oh boy. I won't lie. I didn't see this coming. I had Heroic as favorites in this matchup, but G2, they showed the clutch ability, they showed grit, they showed the prowess, and what an opening. This is the second time he's found a kill from that exact very angle, the exact little pixel for him to see. And you can see how much this means. You can see how much this means. This is such a big win to go 2-1 up in the Legend stage. And Heroic now, 2 opportunities, Vince, to try and take it to OT. And for G2, now is when they just choke them out. Now is when they shut it down, and they're going to be going for a fast play towards B, and once more, Jax will be asked to answer the call of duty.
Oh, we've seen this aggression before. I think Shush may have just bypassed with a flashbang. They have no idea he's to the side left, and Alexi's going to get caught out. He gets fragged down as well, and because Jax has played this angle so many times, Shush will do his due diligence. He will find him, he will frag him. And just like that, the B site is completely barren of CTs.
The danger's not abated yet for G2, even though they want to save, and they have to save. Tessus is there. He's going to try and hunt his weapons down, but unfortunately for him, the double swing comes in. Hunter and Nico grouping up, and there's still yet another one on the hunt, and it is Storm.
Oh, this is so massive, but he's also flubbed his spray. Should be getting that done. The grenade may finish off what he started, but no, Nico stands tall. That's AK-47s donated across. That's bolstered up G2's buy.
Look, firstly, I completely understand why Heroic are going for the hunt here, right? If you look at the economy of G2, it's non-existent right now. And every weapon they can save is going to be so instrumental in them trying to close this out come round number 13. What an opening. They finally cracked the puzzle. They finally cracked the code. A massive 2K from Shush, finding Alexi B with his pants down, not expecting, as you pointed out, Vince, for him to be so very close by. And then he immediately spins around and looks at the direction of the pillars where Jax has been there time and time and time again. The B bomb site finally falling to Heroic in a bye round as we enter the final round here. Is it going to be G2 taking it 16-14, or are we going to be seeing OT? That's the question on everyone's lips. That's a question on the players' lips as well. Monis looking to take the fight. He is blinded. However, he takes a shot, but doesn't quite find anything.
Not fully punished, though. Only tanked down to 74, so he doesn't get fragged out. Imagine he loses his life that early in the round. That could have been the curtain coming down and taking us to OT. Heroic in the meanwhile, though, going to make the most of this momentary weakness. A grenade up and over, doing significant damage. Actually, it doesn't. Lands the wrong side of the wall. Tessus can count himself lucky. And I'm seeing some desperation nades being tossed out. Flashbang up and over. They block each other. But Caden at least makes the most of that. Tess is blinded, desperately trying to get the hell out of there. But his IGL stands his ground. And now could be another peek in. Nico gets pop flashed in. But Cadian can escape.
Good smoke there to try and reclaim back control of short. Losing this would be quite problematic, and Nico's pushing very, very deep. He's trapped in the corner. He reads it to perfection. He knows if anyone's pushing aggressively right now, the Molotov's keeping them at bay, and that is a headshot angle. The P250, it drops Nico. Now player advantage here for Heroic. And look at the lure coming in towards the B bomb site as well. They're pushing, they're poking and prodding both the extremities of the map. You can see Refresh making a lot of noise, drawing out the rotation. There's no one at the B bomb site, Vince.
Nobody in the B-bomb site, and Refresh is keeping them busy. Jax now will show his hand with a FAMAS. There's one. Can keep alive in the generator. 23 seconds to play with KD. Misses his shot, but Refresh is nullifying the rest of the CTs. And Alexi, with just an SMG by his side, has to go above and beyond. Has to become a hero, but there's no fairy tale ending just yet. Overtime is coming right up.
Nice fucking choke.
Did he say let's fucking choke? Oh, sorry. F-bomb. I dropped it.
Whoops.
Whoopsie. But he said it first. It's fine. Okay. All right. Heroic. I don't even know how they managed to bring this one back. I really thought G2 had this one in the back. They had such a stranglehold in CD's side, but Heroic finally cracking open the code of the B bombs at the previous round, and that was such a good round. The Refresh trying his best to sell the fake towards A, and not just selling the fake, Vince, he actually gets the kill as well onto the A bombs, and suddenly all the pressure is on to Jax, again doing his best with the FAMAS to get a kill. But then LXB at the end, 1v3, MP9 in hand, not much he could do. OT, here we go. And you know what? That's what I want to see. A game like this with G2 and Heroic, I want to see more than 30 rounds. Everyone wants to see more than 30 rounds here, except maybe not G2, because they did have that point for a couple of opportunities there. And here we go. Everything gets reset again, ladies and gentlemen. F5 have been pressed. The rifles are out for both the sides. m0NESY, once more, looking to be the difference maker. And Heroic, exerting a little bit of presence towards both the extremities of the map. You can see Shush over there slowly creeping up, trying to catch Jax. And despite round number 29, where they capitulated, Jax and LXB fell, this B-bomb set has been a fortress for G2.
It has, yeah. There's been a couple of misplays, but for the most part, they've been solid. m0NESY, we've seen him land these shots before, Tessis. Please, you're playing with fire. You might just get burnt. Speaking of which, the Molly finds its way down on the ramp, but so does a smoke. Ends in a bit of a stalemate. There's a gap there, though, that m0NESY can try and exploit.
He's gotten so many impactful kills from this very position, right? He just gets on top of those railings and then catches someone lining up smoke. Now, Heroic, I think they're going to be cognizant of the fact now. Here comes the incendiaries getting deployed. Nico is trapped.
Oh, he has to stand his ground. He knows his back is to the wall, but that's sometimes where the animal is at its most dangerous. Nico nearly gets two. It's one frag and a headshot onto Shush. 30 seconds. Molotov will force away m0NESY from side, but he will smoke it down. Another Molotov. They're cordoning the CTs back onto the deep side of the site, and it will allow them to potentially divide and conquer, but m0NESY is still there. Flasher forwards, Refresh, safe passage, but again, it's a ruse. It's all a bait. Is there enough time, though? Especially as Refresh has been picked off so far before anyone else, but they do have it. But Hunter and Jax, once again, delivering when it really counts. Cadian is still alive, still healthy, still in with a chance, but he misses his shot. And now Shush on a measly 10 HP, who was weakened from Nico earlier on, is all that remains for Heroic. He's being flashed around, he's being bullied back onto the T side, and he realizes this round is over. G2 claim first blood in OT.
It is unwinnable. Hunter sticks to defuse. They were so confident. Hunter's the only one who didn't even have a kit, Vince. And he went for the defuse. He's like, yeah, this one we cannot lose. G2 convincing round win. That was, again, same call coming in from the side of Heroic. We had Refresh faking towards A. They get the bomb down. And they even had the player with the forward positioning behind Generator. But then Jax, like a... oh, I don't even know how he gets that kill. Just swings out wide. Instant headshot. G2 now. Slight little lead. 1-0 up here in OT. Fast play towards mid. Molotov will not be respected. And they will force their way through. However, they don't push further anymore. There is Hunter and LXB holding towards mid. In the meantime, we do have a couple of players here for Heroic. Again, poking and prodding towards ramp. It's been a constant battle for ramp, and it's gone back and forth multiple times, in all honesty. You can see Cadian already waiting for m0NESY to go for that very same pick again. See, great flashbang, enabling him to go for that one pre-fire shot, and also allowing Nico a little bit of window of opportunity to escape. Now m0NESY is purged. Now he's waiting for them to present ahead.
Just a single pixel required, and m0NESY will snatch the life out of you, as he's shown so many times. Does miss this one time, though, but in a way in which he can just retreat back again. Tessis gets aggressive, and his head has been removed, and with all of that early bobbing and weaving between the two teams and this jockeying for position over ramp, Refresh and Cadian were tagged in the process off HEs and stray bullets. Shush, though, making moves up on the B side. There's Jax. Doesn't matter, still wins that trade. This Shadow betrays Jax, and he still comes out ahead. A player that's come under so much scrutiny over the years, but he's having one hell of a performance here when it really counts. And with 25 seconds left on the clock, G2 may have the two-player advantage, but Heroic still have opportunities. Refresh through the smoke, perforates Nico, eviscerates him out of the round, but now the player around the corner of Hunter is going to show his hand, and the A1S will sing victory once more.
Again, time betraying them. again, they had to make a little bit of haste to deploy the smokes, but the positioning there, right? Nico and Hunter, sure, they catch Hunter inside of the smoke spamming away, but they weren't expecting the second player to be there. Hunter sealing the deal, 2 rounds. Won by G2. Can they make this a flawless CT side? Because that could be rough for Heroic. That means they would have to battle it out in OT number 2. That means they need to have their own flawless CT side. And we saw that it wasn't flawless in the first half of regulation. Final tactical timeout getting called here by Exist and Cadian for the men as they talk things through. They need one here. They need a lifeline. They need some bit of a cushion to work with as we will be heading into the second half of the first OT. And right now, G2, bit of a resurgence. They lost the last couple of rounds of regulation, but these couple of rounds have been pretty solid thus far. Again, Jax wins. It doesn't have to be a multi-kill every single time, but he always seems to come out on top 90% of the time in some of those B duels. A faster play here this time around from Heroic towards the A ramp position.
Has been dealt with so well by G2, just off of some well-placed incendiaries and smokes, and it allowed Tessis to get shredded down from the shrapnel of the HE tossed out from Nico. He drops to 55. Now Molly's being exchanged onto the sandbags as Tessis tries to regain some aggression and does deal the fatal blow into Nico through the smoke. A huge pick, and in the meanwhile they're pushing middle additionally, but Alexi had a chance. It was a brief opportunity, one that he doesn't capitalize on, and now the CTs are being overwhelmed. They're being flanked from all sides. Jax on the B side gets aggressive and will be rewarded for his hubris, but it may be short-lived. He knows he's encircled by T's. He knows he's living on borrowed time, and Shush will collect. Hunter and Munacy, the only 2 remaining straggling CTs, and Cadian is watching the back. Munacy should be a dead man and gets nailed in by Cadian, leaving Hunter 1 versus 4. He's being flanked, he's being pushed and probed from every single conceivable angle. And surely he goes down to the hands of Tessis. They don't get clean swept in the first OT half. It does give them a little bit of a lifeline here for the Danes.
Great round from Heroic there, and we spoke about it. We said they needed this 1 round. They called the tag timeout, going for the eventual hit towards the B bombs. And this time wasn't an enemy event. They had Oodles time to work with. They were able to encircle the B bomb site. Alexi B, the angle he held there towards mid, not exactly ideal, getting caught off guard. 2 players holding his position. And then Jax, he did his desperate best. He gets to 1 kill towards the B stairs. In that position, I kind of thought he might drop towards B stairs and just gamble the fight. Of course, he didn't know there's only 1 more player there, right?
Yeah.
But maybe take the gamble fight over there and play towards stairs. It would have enabled them to potentially maybe turn the round around, but could have, would have, should have. Here we go. Second half of OT number 1, G2 with a 1-round lead. And now they're going to be on the T side. And they come charging straight out mid, and Storm will find Jax. Jax is running through the flames, hoping to catch CT off guard. Dawn's crosshair was trained on him. He didn't budge. Monacy, though, looking to find Cadian. But Cadian, he finds a kill, but he will be traded. The trades are fast and furious, and Heroic are coming out on top.
They are Alexi's last man standing, and he's way back in spawn. Even damage exchange pretty much between him and Stown, and that is not a good enough engagement on the side of G2. They needed a clean kill to get them back into this one. Instead, though, it's looking good for Heroic to tie us up. Alexi about to get fragged by Shush, and 17 apiece. It will rest. Keep in mind as well, Blair, that most of these rounds have gone the way of the CT side. So when it comes to this CT side Heroic, this is feasible now. They could even extend this.
And to tie things up, right? They've tied things up perfectly once more. So despite having a rough start to the OT on the T side, right now, I'd say Heroic, they might even be in the driver's seat. And G2, what can they do? Oh, it'd be heartbreaking for G2 to lose again in OT events. Remember the game we had yesterday against Na'Vi as well, how close that was. Now Heroic. Dawn, oh, so lucky to stay alive. Munacy, very capable of hitting shots like that. A bit of a wild duel towards the smoke. Tessis finds 1.
Oh, a second departing gift as Nico tries to retreat, but the nade lands in his back pocket. Oh, that is so massive if you're Heroic right now. And Nico having a bit of an uncharacteristic slow game. 46 ADR. 17 kills, bottom of the scoreboard. How often can you say that about NiKo?
That is so rare, right? And oh, Jax, the timing. I love this from Heroic. They have a two-man advantage, and yet the re-aggression coming out here towards mid, refresh, clearing out all the usual angles. He could head on towards ladder, but even if he comes out from T-spawn, that's huge. A little bit of a cheeky run boost, but Heroic in a 5 versus 3, they know there's no need to face ahead aggressively. They know they can just keep delaying G2, utilize the weaponry you have, and you can see the player slowly peeling back. Refresh is heading towards a B bomb site, but the moment he doesn't spot anyone towards the stairs, that's the call. It's going to be an A hit, and G2 are going to be walking into a wall of CTs.
And this wall doesn't look like it's going to budge. Sledgehammers need to be brought out. Get the drills out, G2. They need some entries, and they desperately require them right now. 20 seconds to play with. m0NESY darting past the flash. Out comes Tessis, but it's an even trade. That is good enough for Heroic, and it just got that little bit sweeter as Cadian goes back in for another. Jax, who's been having a great game so far, is pitted against the world. There's no time, the bomb's not under control, and these are just consolation frags. The round is done. Heroic have a match point of their own.
What a turnaround it's been. G2. And this is, mind you, it's been an incredible game from G2 regulation-wise when you had Heroic winning the pistol and, just winning some rounds they had no business winning, with the force buys and whatnot. G2 getting the map point before Cadian and his men did. But Heroic now, 3 in a row. With 17 and 15. Blink and you miss it. Heroic now firmly in the driver's seat. And look at 5 wins. It is not great at all for the side of G2. A Mac 10 for Jax, a Deagle in the hands of m0NESY, 3 AK-47s as they try and force their way up towards a ramp position. And they're taking so much damage from the utility being deployed by Heroic. A couple of bullets as well, the wall bangs. Alexi B down to 51 points of health. Jax on 50 HP as well. They are just getting harassed by Heroic as they slowly creep up towards the A ramp.
It would appear that final curtain is beginning its descent here on the skyscraper of Vertigo. It's down to G2 if they want to cut it short. And then wrap Heroic with it, get into a second OT. The aggression is forthcoming, flashes are back and forth, but the trade is good for the Danes. They go 2-1, and now Jax, Hunter, and m0NESY have got to try and hold on to this. Got to try and repel this push. Beautiful 1D from m0NESY, but that's where his life will come to an abrupt end. And now Jax and Hunter have got to pick up the slack. Great spray from Hunter, keeping them in with an opportunity here. There's still plenty of time as well, but one of the two players has to go back and pick up the bomb, and that's a few seconds. And a pair of eyes that's going to be away from the danger zone, and that's Refresh on the con side. They're double stacking this one, but a big headshot from Hunter, and now Shush is last man standing. Have they spotted him? Well, now they definitely know his position as the headshot comes through thick and fast, and Shush puts the last nail in the coffin. Heroic have battled against the odds, come back, take an OT, and make this match theirs.
Incredible comeback from Cadian. You can see how this means to them. And we could go back to what the desk spoke about as well. For Heroic, it's winning these games against the top dogs in a LAN environment. That is what is so imperative for them. Yesterday, it was, for G2, it was a very narrow loss against Na'Vi. Coming into this matchup, it looked like we're slipping away from the fingers, Vince. An incredible CD side from G2, shutting it down.